The scorching afternoon sun hung low over a private airfield on the outskirts of San Diego, California. The rhythmic hum of tools, the smell of engine oil, and the occasional clank of metal filled the hangar. Inside stood Ava Mitchell, a 30-year-old tech billionaire and CEO of one of the fastest-growing aerospace companies in the United States. She was sharp, confident, and known for her perfectionism, but that day, frustration lined her face. Her brand-new corporate helicopter worth over $8 million sat grounded. The engine refused to start, and none of her top engineers had managed to fix it. Her flight to an important investor meeting was already delayed by hours. "Unbelievable," she muttered, brushing her hair back. "The most advanced team in the country, and no one can get this damn rotor turning?" A quiet voice answered from behind. "Maybe you're listening to the wrong people, ma'am." She turned sharply to see a man in his late 30s, in worn jeans and a dusty mechanic's jacket. His name tag read Ethan Cole, a local freelance mechanic called in as a last resort. He looked ordinary. Sun-tanned skin, calloused hands, and a calmness that didn't fit the chaos around him. Ava frowned. "You? You think you can fix what my engineers couldn't?" Ethan gave a small smile. "Ma'am, machines don't care how rich you are. They just need someone who listens." The engineers snickered in the background. But Ava, half amused and half desperate, crossed her arms. "All right, cowboy. If you can fix this helicopter, I'll give you anything you ask for." He wiped his hands on a rag, looked at the massive chopper and said softly, "I don't need much. Ma'am, just a little quiet and a chance to work." Hours passed as the sun dipped low. The hangar lights flickered on, bathing the silver helicopter in gold. Ethan worked methodically, touching each panel like a doctor checking a pulse. His movements were slow, precise. He listened to the soft ticks, the hum of the electrical system, even the way air hissed from the vents. Ava watched from a few feet away, curiosity replacing her earlier annoyance. There was something oddly graceful about the way he worked. No arrogance, no wasted motion. "Just focus. You always work this quiet?" she asked. "Machines talk, ma'am," he said without looking up. "Most folks just don't know how to listen." He reached into the engine compartment, tightened a small bolt, and adjusted a misaligned coupling. Then he wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, "Try it now." The engineers exchanged skeptical glances, but Ava climbed into the cockpit. She turned the key. The engine coughed once, twice, then roared to life with a smooth, perfect hum. The blades began to spin, steady and strong. Everyone froze. The same team that had mocked Ethan now stared in disbelief. The sound of the helicopter filled the hangar like music. Ava stepped out, her jaw slightly open. "That's perfect," she whispered. "How did you—" Ethan smiled faintly. The pressure regulator was off by less than a millimeter. Sometimes the smallest things make the biggest mess. When the rotor slowed, Ava approached him, her tone softer now. "You earned more than a paycheck today. Tell me, what do you want?" He hesitated. "Honestly, I'm a single dad. My daughter's starting school next week. I just want time to take her to her first day. No overtime, no trouble for it." Ava blinked. The simplicity of his answer struck her harder than she expected. In her world, people asked for money, cars, or connections, never time. "You've got it," she said. "And if you ever want a permanent job, my company could use someone who listens like you do." Ethan nodded politely. "Appreciate that, ma'am. But I kinda like working where the sky's open." He turned to leave, but she stopped him. "Ethan, yeah? You didn't just fix my helicopter," she said softly. "You fixed my perspective." Later that evening, Ava stood alone by the helicopter as the sunset painted the sky orange and gold. She realized that for years, she'd surrounded herself with people who spoke loudly but never truly heard anything. Not her, not the machines, not even themselves. That mechanic, quiet, humble, genuine, had reminded her of something she'd forgotten in her rise to success: respect. The next morning, she instructed her HR department to create a new program, the Ethan Initiative, a fund to train and hire local mechanics who didn't have formal degrees but possessed real skill and dedication. When Ethan dropped by to return a borrowed wrench, she told him. He grinned and said, "Well, Ma'am, looks like your helicopter ain't the only thing that took off." They shared a quiet laugh, two people from different worlds, united by something simple and rare, understanding. And from that day on, every time the company helicopter took flight, Ava would glance at the sky and remember the man who didn't fix it for money, but for the love of making things work again.